So to all of our subscribers, welcome back. And if you're new here today, the purpose of our Monday meetings is simply to get together and answer some questions posted on our social media post. Anywhere from Facebook or YouTube, our boat videos, or just any of our advertising, just trying to help anyone with questions in general. And we just kind of randomly choose some different topics to cover. This guy's video would actually make me not want to buy it. So the first one that we're going to cover today, getting right into it, Mr. Ramirez right here on our YouTube channel said, how difficult and expensive will it be to convert a boat like this to saltwater? So he was talking about our Chaparral 97 or 98 2900 signature cruiser that we sold, which was a twin engine cruiser. It had gin and air, pretty much all the systems. So essentially any boat can go into saltwater. It just, saltwater affects boats differently, right? Like some people think you have to have closed cooling. No, you don't, because that system's still relatively new in terms of people have been boating in the ocean since long before Jesus was born. So, you know, the technology has evolved a lot since then. So you don't even need closed cooling. You just need to flush out the motor good. Some people don't do that. Well, then you're going to get a lot of rust inside your motor because salt water is very corrosive. So the boat would work fine for salt water. You just have to flush it out. You're also pumping salt water through like your AC pump. You're pulling salt water through your generator. So anything that uses raw water, all that stuff has to be flushed out essentially, or you're going to have corrosion everywhere all over the motor. That's why if you're a freshwater boater, you really shouldn't invest in a saltwater boat unless you have a lot of time and ability to work on it, because in freshwater, we could use a boat our entire adult lives and never change out the exhaust manifolds or the risers. You could literally own a boat from your junior year of high school until you're, getting a senior citizen's discount at the Golden Corral. But down there, it's like an every 3 years maintenance item. So you could use the boat in saltwater. You don't really have to do anything. You could have a marina install closed cooling, but really you just want to flush it out through the drives, flush out your AC system, flush out your gen. Every time you get it out of the water, scrub it down good, the vinyl, the windshield, all the metal, to get all that corrosive salt water, off the boat. So I hope that answers your question. You don't need to, budget a bunch of money to convert it. You just got to really budget your time to take care of it accordingly, if that makes sense. The next question from Manny. On a scale, I assume this is 1 to 10, what's the point for the Tahoe? So like a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the best, I would assume. There's different boats for different folks. Like a lot of people will make fun of Bayliner, saying it's not a well-built boat, but not every manufacturer makes every model evenly, if that makes sense. So for Bayliner, they made all their smaller boats, like 21 foot and under, very inexpensively. Why? So people could afford them and get out there and enjoy the water. And that's the case for a lot of boats that size. If you built the 19 footer the same as a 24 footer, the price is going to be relatively the same. The only reason it's somewhat less is because typically in a 19 footer, you're going to get a much smaller motor, less features, less options in the boat. There's not a water system. There's not a vacuum flush head. So that all brings that price point down considerably. But in reality, the Bayliners that are bigger, like a Bayliner Rendezvous, I don't care what anyone says, is one of the top 10 best built boats of all time. A 2659 or a 2609 Bayliner Rendezvous deck boat. They're cheap. They've depreciated to a point where I sell them for the same price year after year. They're built extremely strong. So Bayliner is not something you just should rule out, if you're in the bigger size boats. For Tahoe, though, I will say, I've sold tons of them. They run fine. But to me, it is, without question, probably the least expensive constructed boat ever made, for the most part. The gel coat's thin. The fiberglass is actually relatively thin. In fact, it's more of a composite than a full fiberglass. If you didn't know that, go out and scratch the heck out of one and then try to fix it. It's very difficult. It's more of a composite laid hull. And you can tell just like from the edges of the top of the, you got the hull, then the top cap goes on top, inside of there sandwiches the motor, the fuel tank, windshield gets screwed on, the seats, all the wires go to something Okay, so the top cap's the top piece of fiberglass brought together at the rub rail. Look at the edges up in the gunnels, and you'll see that seal that's kind of like this that just fits up over it because they're just hiding all the edges in there. At the end of the day, if you don't want to spend a lot of money and you buy one right, it's totally okay, because if you buy one cheap, they're always going to sell cheap. So it's okay. It's kind of a wash. You know, you don't have to worry about resell unless you buy a new one or you spend too much on one. If you're buying one inexpensively, it really doesn't matter at all, because you're still going to sell it relatively close to what you paid for it. And it's an inexpensive way to get a boat, get out there on the water and have some fun. But if you're interested in quality or you're in rough water, you got to tuck tail and run away. I know that I sell them. I'm sorry for hurting anyone's feelings, but that's just the reality of it. Anyone that says it compares to a Cobalt or a Sea Ray hasn't owned a Cobalt or a Sea Ray, and that's 99.9% of people are going to agree with me. You know, go up and hit the boat with the back of your hand, and you can just hear the quality difference. You can see it. Shake the steering wheel real hard. Grab the shifter and pull it to you. The whole interior gunnel of that boat's extremely thin compared to anything else. Okay? So moving on to the last comment that I wanted to cover today. So the third one I wanted to cover today is off a Facebook post for the Baja. We have the 05 Baja H2X 25 footer with 860 horsepower from Lewis Williams. Lewis Williams said, "This guy's video would actually make me not want to buy it." To which I responded, "Did I do something wrong? I'm open to suggestions as how I can improve." The only reason I wanted to cover that comment is because if anyone out there has any ideas how we can improve our channel to make it greater for everybody, feel free to post it down below. I take criticism extremely well. It doesn't bother me at all. I want to get better and find a better way to help our customers, a better way to make our videos, a better way to be transparent, because that's what the purpose of our videos are. You know, going back, we started doing the boat review videos showing the boats we have for sale because I bought a car in Texas that we were lied to about. Very long story, and I really thought I will never, ever, ever want to put myself in a situation to be the sales guy that I dealt with to any of my customers. We want to be upfront, honest. That's why we inspect, check, clean, and correct the boats to sell before we sell it. That's why I point out flaws in the video. That allows me the opportunity to tell you what I can and can't, will, or won't be able to fix, you know, just to be completely transparent and to help, you know, educate boat shoppers. That's it. So if you have any ideas that we can improve, like I have a customer, Phil, we're going to cover some things that you texted me the other day. Brandon Young, we're going to cover some things you texted me the other day. I really appreciate all those ideas because we just go and try to help as, you know, the best we can when something presents itself that I feel would be valuable. So it's great to hear from everybody to learn what is valuable to you, because I promise you won't ask a question that I haven't been asked once before. So any questions we can help with, be sure to post it down in the comments below. And to the guy on Facebook, I'm sorry if you don't like me. There's nothing I can do about that. But this ends our Monday meeting for the day. Thank you so much for watching our channel. Please subscribe if you haven't, and we'll see you on the water.
Just a good old